कुछ होने में और बहुत कुछ होने में इतना सा फर्क है, एक बार सोच के छोड़ देने में और लग के कर दिखाने में। मान लेने में कि जिंदगी ऐसे ही कटेगी और सुबह 4 बजे उठ के सोचने में कि अभी तो बस शुरुआत है। किसी मैगजीन को हाथ में लेने में और उसी मैगजीन के कवर पेज पे होने में इतना सा ही तो फर्क है। वीआईपी सीट में और उसकी पिछली सीट में इतना सा ही तो फर्क है। वो जिसका मैदान ही खुला आसमान है, वही कल जमीन पर तो था। पूछोगे तो बताएगा वो पंछी कि एक दायरे में सिमटने में और पूरी दुनिया को दायरा बनाने में बस इतना सा फर्क है। इतना कितना है? इतना है या इतना है? जो नापेगा वो जाने कि जहां धरती और आसमान मिलते हैं, नानकुर से दूर, अगर मगर शायद से दूर, वहां भी दोनों में फर्क बस इतना सा है। धरती और सातवें आसमान में फर्क बस इतना सा है। ये एक अंतर प्रेरणा है। ये हमारी, आपकी, हम सब की अंतर प्रेरणा है। एक कदम, एक छलांग, एक बाजी, एक गहरी सांस और एक ललकार खुली हवाओं में कि हाँ, मैं बना हूं उन फिजाओं के लिए, कि हाँ, मैं बना हूं उन ऊंचाइयों के लिए जो ऊंची तो बहुत है पर नामुमकिन भी नहीं, क्योंकि मुमकिन और नामुमकिन में बस इतना सा फर्क है। धूप छांव में फर्क बस इतना सा है। तो बस चलिए फ्रेंचाइज इंडिया के साथ ये फर्क मिटा देते हैं। फ्रेंचाइज इंडिया, 20 years of ideas.
A very good afternoon to all and every participants who have joined us today for our Business Opportunity with Chai webinar series. We, the entire team of Franchise India, welcomes each one of you. This is a digital representation of the business opportunity we have got for you. Franchise India is Asia's largest integrated franchise solution company with expansion in 80 plus cities. And we truly claim that no one sells more business than us because we have helped more than 5,000 international and national brands to expand their business with our pan-India offices. And we have helped more than 78 investors in getting the business solutions and suggestions from our side. And we are truly committed towards our brands as well as our investors. With this introduction, I invite and welcome management team of Franchise India, Gaurav sir and Sonia ma'am. During the course of the webinar, they'll be sharing their thoughts, their viewpoints with us so that we can take the right and conscious decision of business opportunity. It is our privilege to welcome and invite Mr. Nikhil, who will be representing the Tummy section, the brand which represents F&B vertical. And today he'll be talking about his journey, which he started with two of his friends. But before I formally invite Nikhil for sharing his business idea with us, I would like to invite Sonia ma'am to talk about our different events as well as initiative we have taken for each one of you. Thank you so much, Sonia ma'am, for joining in today. Over to you.
A very good afternoon, friends, and we all welcome you to the Sunday series of Business Opportunity over Chai. And before we formally start our session on Tummy section, I will spend maybe 1 minute to tell you about the various initiatives that Franchise India has taken in the month of June. And starting the 1st of June, we started with a very special series of Bharat Franchise Show, where we took this initiative of going to 100 cities in 100 days, covering every small micro market in the country. And every day we bring select opportunities which are appropriate for that city. This is a show which starts every evening at 7 o'clock and goes up to 8:30. I will also advise friends, since Franchise India plays a very important role being a catalyst in the entire franchise community. And we've always believed and acted in a manner that could boost the spirit of entrepreneurship and most importantly, through very responsible franchising. We always advise our business buyers to take and undertake, I would say, in-depth understanding and assessment of the future fitness of the industry, the potential opportunity that exists in your market, the competition offering, and the selected brand assessment before signing on the dotted line. And I will now request Nikhil ji. They have a very interesting brand which has a legacy of more than 12 years, and they've been operating very successfully in the capital city of Delhi for these many years. And over to you, Nikhil ji, for representing the brand and telling maybe how you started the journey, first of all.
First of all, I would like to thank Sonia ji and Mr. Maria and Franchise India team for giving us the opportunity to kind of present our brand on this platform. So basically, our journey is very subtle. So it was just like three friends sitting in a park one fine evening, and kind of we all decided let's do something of our own. And all of us read one common book, which kind of changed all of our thinking into one direction. So that's where the idea initiated. It was, I think, 12:30 at the night when we kind of decided on, we want to do this, and this is how the story began. So it took us some time and to figure out what we really want to do. But one day we kind of, very sure this is what we want to do. But before kind of, I take you to the journey of how we became what we are today. I would want to showcase a small video of 1 minute of our brand, what we are currently with our recently done outlet. So please allow me to.
Sure, Nikhil. And before, we go ahead, because it's very interesting to know all of you read this book, and we have a lot of entrepreneurs now on the webinar listening live and also present. Which book was that? I'm sure that might be helpful. Many people listening.
Yes, it was Rich Dad and Poor Dad by Robert T. Kiyosaki. So it was a very interesting eye opener for all of us. So kind of changed our perception towards the way we look at business, the way we look life post that reading.
A lot of entrepreneurs are born because of this book.
Yes, a lot.
Exactly. And this is probably when you start your thinking entrepreneurial mind or wealth creation in life, you start thinking about this book is the first to catch up. It's a classic, but then you get into, this is good too. And three of you reading the same book, starting journey. Over to you.
Thank you. So let me just quickly share my screen and start off with the video. So this is where we are right now. This was our recent opening in Malvinagar. We are currently building another store in Faridabad, which is under construction right now. So let me quickly start off with the presentation and talk about the brand, that how we evolved into what we are today. So I'm not sure how many of you have heard about us, but people who stay in Delhi or maybe NCR region kind of heard about us in some or the other way, because we have been pretty popular in the circuit of fast food, QSR, small segment industry. But this is where we, kind of plan to take things to, on a bigger level. So let's move on. So basically, we kind of started off in 2009. It was our year of inception. So 6th of August, we kind of started. It was a very small kiosk. I would say, I'll show you the pictures in the next slide, of course. But that is something we all three started. So we kind of fetched in 30,000 rupees each, all of us. And with the 90,000 rupee investment, we started this dream of turning this into a reality. A lot of friends and people who know us personally, looking at the current success of our brand, kinds of, things that we come from a very hotel industry or, food industry background, so that we know our show very well. But that is not at all true. We all came from different backgrounds. I was a mass comm graduate. My other two partners come from a bit of a medical background. So it was not at all anything related to the food. So that's what this slide kind of tells you. And if we go to the next slide, this is how we all started. It was a very small kiosk. We took a space for 15,000 rupees rental, and it was not even a shop. It was a roadside counter, which we kind of started off in 2009. And from day one, it was our luck. We were fortunate enough to, kind of touch our break even from day one. We did a sales of 2,300 rupees on day one, and that gave us so much confidence, so much boost. And उससे हम लोगों को ये हौसला मिल गया कि अब पीछे नहीं मुड़ना. We have to keep going hard, and have to work really hard. And that is where it took us at least 6 to 8 months to build our first restaurant, which was again in Ashok Nagar, which was very nearby in West Delhi to this place where we opened up. So that's how we as a brand kind of evolved from 2009. It took us 6 months, and then post that, we took our genuine time to kind of settle down, learn about the industry, learn about all the if and buts, how this industry works. We all, again, reading changed a lot about us, how we do the business. So we kept, we made reading as a good habit to learn about the industry. We, kind of read a lot on internet, met a lot of people who have already done it. And that's how we, the evolution of our brand started. So the vision, what we currently hold for our brand Tummy Section is first, we again always started off with just one vision. It was, we wanted to take this very Indianized form of food and present it in a way that it looks very westernized, but it has that Indian touch attached to it, which we have always felt is very crucial for any brand which is operating in the Indian market or Indian customers, serving Indian customers. That what really helped us. But we kind of are on a mission to, keep all the tummies very, very happy. Whosoever comes and eats at our outlet, it's a prime goal. We want to make sure that we take this brand to a bigger height. We are currently sitting at 5 outlets. One is under construction, and we are hoping to go pan India within next couple of hours. Of course, Franchise India would be our platform to take us there and help us, in guiding us in the entire process. Okay, so a lot about the brand. Now let's talk a little bit about the owners, what we are, where we came from, and what was the idea. So first of all, I'll quickly tell you. So basically, our USP, how we all started off, the product line is all revolving around shawarma. Shawarma is a Middle East oriented dish. Basically, we took that, we kind of customized it into very Indianized flavor of ours, and we called it Shawaryo. The reason why we called it Shawaryo is very tricky because we were 3 people. It was like a trio, and then shawarma, then we kind of combined it and turned it into Shawaryo. And that became our USP and kind of helped us to, take this thing way forward. Okay, now let me go to the next slide. Okay, so this is, we are. So that's me, Nikhil Arora. Of course, you're looking me on screen as well. But my other partner, Yash Suri, basically he's that backbone who holds the entire financial backbone of the business. So he is the one who is behind all the automated systems you will be witnessing if we, of course, join hands. How to run this business very successfully, keeping the bottom line in the mind all the time. No matter how hard your operations go on, but the bottom line has to be maintained all the time. So he's the one who is behind all the automations. I personally look after the major marketing, the brand building part of the Tummy Section. And I, of course, I am the CEO of the brand, and I also look after the franchising, the entire franchising model. Pankaj, of course, being a very hardcore operations guy, took his hands onto operations, and he started off his journey into a different field. Then he switched. Before joining hands, we all 3 went on to very different parts, and all of a sudden we kind of combined together to build this brand. So let's go to the next slide. Not just us, we are a family of 12 people in-house. Of course, I would not introduce you to all of them, but these are the main crucial key people that we have in the team right now, who becomes the face value, who becomes the front face for any investor who comes in, join hands with the brand. They look after all the minute details from operations, from basic auditings, building up new trainings, HR related support, any support related to production of an outlet, like you're building your outlet, to executing any minor details from an accounts point of view. So we have a full sorted background in the backend going on to support you guys. Okay. Now, it's about the menu. No matter how good management is, no matter how good your model is, if your food is not good, I think nothing is good. So food is the base concept behind Tummy Section's success, because we always kind of worked really hard and kind of keep innovating, that whatever we bring onto our menu has to be something which Delhi people or Indian people have not tasted before. If they have seen the dish, but they've not tasted it in a way the way we will present it. So that was the whole idea about, bringing the Indianized version of the Western cuisine. So that's how our overall idea evaluated. So it's a combination of Middle East, it's a combination of American, Chinese, Malaysian cuisines, a lot of things, like picking handful of things. Okay, now these are some of the sections we kind of currently serve in our menu, but this will never be always the same, because we have a legacy from last 12 years that we always and always try as a protocol that within 6 to 8 months, we do a hardcore trials of new menu items, of course, based on our experience, based on our customer feedbacks that we have got from you people, that, people who kind of continuously eat at our outlets. And we keep continuously doing that because we have learned that no matter how good you are currently, but you have to, if you have to stay in the game, if you have to, survive in the stiff competition of this business, you have to keep innovating. So that's the baseline of our menu. We keep innovating. So we have burgers, which we of course call cheeky buns. We have variety of shawarmas, which we call shawaryo. Then we have a couple of very unique dishes, which we call, excuse me, but we have a dish called egg shot, which is like a trademark dish of ours. The way we got our dish names like shawaryo, egg shots, crunchwich, all these things we got trademarked because we never wanted anybody else to, kind of take away these beautiful names which we kind of invented in this entire journey. So that's all about the menu. Of course, I'll be sharing a lot more about the menu, but the basic idea of this slide is that we have become pioneers, or we have been the first mover in most of the cuisines which we are currently serving right now. Though a lot of people have tried to copy our menu, a lot of people have tried to, kind of come up with the similar menus, what we are serving right now, but God has been fortunate enough to, always keep us on the top in terms of the food value, the taste value that we offer to our customers. Okay. Now, you must be thinking, I've been talking a lot about what the food is, what the brand is, but that's not just me. It is what a lot of people within, the media community, the food community, a lot of foodies think about us. So ST City, this was our first thing. So when we started out in 2009, it took us like a couple of years to get our first media coverage, and ST City kind of put us as the best shawarma place in Delhi. Then it went on, then Burp, Dil Se Foodie, Bhuka Saan, Hungry Delhi, a lot of people kind of, and the Times Delivery Icon is our latest win, which we recently bagged 4 months back along with NDTV. So this kind of achievement keeps giving us the right kind of push. We always need to keep thinking on our toes, to keep innovating in our menu items, so that we just don't keep our customers happy, we keep our investors also super happy, in terms of that we are not a very origin based brand ki hum logon ne kuch shuru kiya and we kind of settled down. And I should not say this, but McDonald's is one of those examples. McDonald's started out in India with a menu, but it kind of stayed with the same menu for a long period of time. But the Burger King came in the Indian market, and it kind of disrupted a bit, because McDonald's, of course, was very standardized with the menu planning. And that's what McDonald's also started thinking on the toes. But we learned that lesson very early on from our few initial failures we kind of witnessed while, keeping the menu side. But that's what we learned in last 12 years. And I think that is the biggest learning for any entrepreneur who's getting into the food segment, especially in the QSR thing, because of course everybody needs different tastes, different varieties. We have a very good online presence. Of course, I would not be opening individual links, but just to show you, Zomato, Magic Pen, Swiggy, Google, Facebook, just go to any of the platforms and just search the brand name, the tummy section, and you will find 4+ ratings, 4.5 ratings across the platforms. And that is not just because these platforms are really good for our business, just because customers really talk about us and they become our really, I would say, marketers, because they keep talking about us, they keep reviewing us, they keep checking in at most of our outlets, and that's where a lot of rating comes in and pump us, in taking this game forward. Okay, the most interesting point, our menu. So basically, the most interesting thing about tummy section menu is we never call it a menu item. We don't call it, we always call it addictions. The reason why our tagline is addiction satisfied is because we have always kind of introduced a new addiction in the market. So whenever there's a new introduction in our menu, we never promote it or tell it that we have a new menu item. We always say we have a new addiction, which Delhi Heights, of course, should try. And let's go on. So this is our standard chicken shawarma, which gave us the boost, the main bottom line of our business. We call it Shawaryo. It's a trademarked thing, which of course cannot be used by anybody else in the industry, which again gives us a little edge onto a lot of. We personally felt there were a lot of shawarma shops around the corners. There were a lot of people selling shawarmas, most of the restaurants, because this dish came out as a momos, I would say, because momos was something everybody used to sell, but there were very few people who specialized into making of momos. And that's where tummy section comes when we talk about shawarmas. A lot of players in the market are doing shawarmas, but it was us who kind of pioneered this in West Delhi in 2009 and gave it a little push from an Indian perspective that this is how a shawarma can be also. It cannot be just very mild the way, Middle Eastern way people eat. So that's what Shawaryo gave us a little boost and we kind of gave in the market. So wherever you see this term OG into our menu, whenever you visit any of our outlets, it is original. So that's how we, kind of segment ourselves. Then we have, of course, a series of wraps. We can assure you that this series of wraps is not available in any of the menus right now within Delhi circuit. And we can assure that the reason why we're so confident about this is because these all wraps are kind of comprised of dishes which we build in-house. Our entire model is based on 4 to 5 items. Basically, we kind of twist and turn those 4 to 5 menu items and turn this into a 75 plus menu item menu. So that's the creativity and the innovation of our menu lies. We became really popular. I think a couple of years back, we kind of launched this crunchy side of the Shawaryos, and this gave us a really good boost in the market. And a lot of people started talking about it because it was something really new in the industry. And then we have kebabs around it. Then we have crunchy momos around it. Of course, a lot of variety in that. Then, of course, we have our eggs, which we call, these are the egg shots. We were the first one and we kind of promoted as a very healthy, protein oriented, because we take the yolk out of it and put our chicken shawaryo, of course, mixed with a lot of in-house sauces to give it a very unique flavor. This was promoted as a gym lovers product, and a lot of gym people who used to, think on the healthy side of the food, started consuming these. And then second edition and eggs came as the Lord of the Egg Rings. Again, something very unique. It was sunny side up, again topped up with our chicken shawaryo, again with a different flavor of sauces. So menu, again, has been our backbone, will always be our backbone. So this is the crunch, which it's a bit on the heavier side, but trust me, it is not something which everybody should try, but this is something I personally feel everybody should eat at least once in their life, because though the reason why I don't recommend it to everybody, because it's way too heavier and it brings out the tummy a bit, but that's how, this again is our specialty, chicken lollipops. We were the first one again. Of course, a lot of people tried to copy what we are doing in terms of creamy lollipops, but we were the first one again. We started out in 2010. We introduced this, and still we feel and we assure that we are the finest in terms of making this combination of cream that goes really well with this fried version of a lollipop. this this was personally founded by me. It was me who was kind of doing a lot of hit and trials in my own kitchen. And one certain day, I got into this YouTube video which showed me this Malaysian street food, and that's how I started kind of working around it. Went into the kitchen and start making that burger, and this is what we came out with our version of Ramly burger. Again, a very thin layer of omelette wrapping chicken shavario around, and of course few veggies and vegetables, sauces. So that's where we started off with just one variety of Ramly burger, but of course currently we serve 3 to 4 variety of Ramly burgers for vegetarian lovers, paneer lovers, and of course chicken. This is just another example that we are not just specialized in one side of food. We of course serve Chinese, we have spring rolls in the menu, we have momos. Now let's talk about all the locations we are currently sitting at. So Jail Road, of course, was our first outlet. We opened up back in 2009. Then second was our Rajouri outlet, which we are currently operating as a FOCO model, which of course we will talk about more in later part of the slides. Then Malvinagar is our recent opening. Sushant Lok was open in November. Sonipat was also opened in November last year. Faridabad is in under construction and would be launched by the 20th of this month. So it's been a good, decent journey of, going and then stabilizing and then going up and then stabilizing instead of just taking the uproot hill, very fast. So this is how our outlets look like. This image is from Sonipat outlet. It's a takeaway outlet, but with a very nice, comfy outdoor sitting available. Then we have our Malvinagar store. This is our team, of course, the way we look at the stores and our kitchens. Now let's talk about the main element. Why franchise with Tummy Section? What is Tummy Section? Why do I invest in Tummy Section? What Tummy Section brings on table? So next few slides, I'll be talking about just the franchise program, what we can bring on for our investors, what we can bring on table in terms of the USP that market has not experienced before. So if you closely see, this line clearly says, they say go home. I mean, they say go big or go home, but we kind of always felt we should always, go big instead of going home. And that's way we have always kind of kept our Tummy Section way. So we are proposing you, all of you, that you can be your own boss. You can kind of run your own enterprise. You can run your own venture without all the nitty-gritties most of the franchise programs offers. So we kind of have kept this model really simplistic. We have kind of kept it very training oriented, because most of the items that goes into the operation, most of the processes, protocols goes into the operation sides, which of course we'll talk later on, is controlled through very specific audit structures, very specific parameters, which are very easy to understand. And most of our trainings, of course, is on audio visual, which is a plus. Okay. So, okay, what do we bring onto the table? First thing, of course, as you must have seen in the previous slides, let me just take the screen side. Okay, you must have seen in the previous slide that we are a brand which is loved by Delhi Heights. And I would not brag about this. I would request you humbly to just go on the internet, type Tummy Section out, and you will see thousands of reviews. Our Jail Road outlet has around 3,000 plus reviews on Google itself, Facebook separate, Zomato separate, etc., etc. And that's the kind of response we've got from most of the community, our customers. Then second USP that we offer, what we bring on the table, is our menu, which is very unique, very different, and we are always on our toes in the back kitchen to again surprise you with different menu items the food industry has not witnessed yet. Third, again, marketing. We have learned this way that we don't have to do a lot of paid marketing. We don't have to do a lot of investment into promoting our brand in certain ways. What we have learned is very simple. Just take care of your customers and your marketing is sorted. You don't need to think about the marketing department from कि हमें और ज़्यादा customer लेके आना है brand के तरफ. No, you don't have to do that. That's what we have always believed. That's my personal belief of doing my businesses. That just take care of the customer and rest everything is taken care from a bottom line perspective. Fourth point is round the clock tech from the industry best. Technical support, of course, is very strong because most of our systems, most of our internal management, of course, apart from the operational kitchen aspects of the business, when we talk about the admin side, is very technically oriented and technically sorted so that you don't have to, kind of put your brain into new learnings, get into new developments on your own. You just have to simply follow a simple procedure and you're sorted. You just focus on getting a good customer experience. Again, fifth point is we were the original pioneers of Shivario and we would want to maintain that, and we would want to, what we are focusing right now is to kind of make the Shivario word so Indianized that people kind of forget shawarma and start thinking Shivario, and when they think of shawarma or Shivario, they think of tummy section. That's what we are aiming at, and that's where the originality of our Shivario comes in. Okay, our Ramli range, a unique menu, etc., etc. So now let's go to the next slide. Reasons. These are the three prime reasons, of course, post the menus and the other things that why you should buy a franchise of Tummy Section. Of course, we have been a proven player. We are not a new brand. We are not somebody who's still learning. Yes, we are still learning, but we are learning different ways. We can, make this brand more innovative, more market centric, and be more stabilized in terms of business. But when we talk about the operational aspect, when we talk about all the nitty-gritties of operating a food brand, that is all sorted because it's been almost 12 years now, and we have done our good homework to kind of keep our brand in strong foundation. Payback period, which is the most important, of course, area for any of the investors. Kitna time mein mera paisa वापस आएगा, kitna paisa लगाएंगे, so how long will it take, etc., etc. And we have tried to keep it very close, which we feel for the kind of investment you put in Tummy Section, it's a decent amount of time you kind of get your money back. And of course, extensive franchise support. I would again not talk about this. I would not again brag about this. I simply say anybody who's willing to kind of invest in Tummy Section, feel free to take number of any current franchise of our brand. Just call them, take our feedback, take the feedback on how the systems are, how the support is, and I think you will get all your answers. Before speaking to me on any of the franchise related thing, I would encourage speak to any of our current franchise owners. It is as simple as that. Okay, so what support we will provide? First thing, of course, we would be helping you in setting up the entire unit, from designing the outlet, from planning the layout, from making, of course, the best utilization of the space, buying all the techs, etc., etc. Once the setup is taken care of course, you need help on the trainings. How are you going to run the business? How things are going to go? How the supply is going to come? So all the trainings would be taken care of. And most of the brands in the industry kinds of stop at the initial go once they've done the training. But we have tried to keep our model in a way that it's not just the operations team. We have kind of drafted plans for our franchise owners as well, that they also have to go to a certain parameter, that they kind of learn the nitty-gritties in each and every aspect of our business. Because we feel you're not just running a business, you're running something which has a lot of potential to become something really, really big. So we all have to make sure we understand very small details and kind of do this in a very organized and formal manner. And that's where the training, of course, comes in place. Supplies, a very simplified model. We give you a flat rate of amount, and we put you in direct touch with the vendor, and he takes care of all the supplies based on the principles we have, of course, guided to the company who's handling our logistics and all the supplies. So most of the supplies, most of the food items, most of the menu items which you will be serving is controlled from a very simplistic central kitchen model. So most of the things would be done from the back end and would be sent to you, which of course I'll explain in more detail in next further slides. Marketing, of course, we take care of the central marketing like social media campaigns, managing your individual outlets presence, then keeping a strong tab on all the local activities you are personally doing in establishing your brand as the leader within that locality. That's what we aim at. Wherever we put our footfalls at, we always try that we kind of get a very good hold in that market, because that what gives us an edge over most of the competitions. And last but not the least, all the aspects of the business is taken care by a very simplified, very easy to understand audio visual based SOPs. We will not give you like a booklet. Okay, go and read this booklet and you will be sorted for your trainings. No, we don't do that. We handhold you in your trainings. We have a lot of live sessions. We have a lot of pre-recorded sessions, which are divided into operations, finance, admin, HR, marketing, all the different sections. That's how you will learn how to operate this overall business. So that's what we feel as a budding, as a growing brand, that gives us a lot of edge in the industry as an option for any investor who's trying to get into food segment, is that we have a very good hold on our SOPs and training systems. Okay, now where are we planning to roll out? Very simple. Basically, first focus is we want to put our footprints across Delhi NCR. That's where our prime focus is. But we are also, of course, trying to take this pan India, but we would not want to go at a heavy speed. We want to go again, follow the simple strategy. We go, we stabilize, we go, we stabilize. We're going to follow a very simple strategy. So when we talk about Delhi, we have a lot of options to explore. West, we have kind of placed ourselves very neatly. West Delhi market is a very crucial market for our brand. Then we have one outlet in South Delhi as well. We have another one coming up in Satyaniketan, which we recently signed up. So South again will have two models. So we are trying to build small clusters, and we are trying to grow. So basically the simple idea is we put one outlet and then we try to expand 3-4 outlets around that outlet, instead of you taking one in Noida, one in Gurgaon, one in North, one in West. We are trying not to do that. We're being very simple. We're being very honest in our approach, because we feel every outlet becomes an extension of the other outlet. So that's where we are looking at this overall extensive rollout plan of ours. So whenever you come up with a plan that you want to open up or operate at this location, it's not just we straight away take in and guide you, let's start the business. No, we'll first guide you the benefits, the pros and cons of why you should not open here and you should open here, and vice versa. So it's a very simple mutual approach, because end of the day, we would want you to grow as an investor. We would want our brand to grow and be very stable in the market over the next 50 years. We're not thinking of next 10 years, 5 years. We are aiming for next 50 years, because we want to build something which we feel, if I'm gone, I want to be known by somebody who started Tummy Section, and that's what I am living up for. So I don't want to be somebody who bas abhi thoda time ke liye we are working hard and kind of relaxing. So that's not the approach. So that's what we are following in our rollout plan as well. Slowly, steady, simple growth. But it's not just the Delhi NCR marketing we are focusing on. We are also, of course, focusing on the master franchise thing. But when we talk about the master franchise, we're focusing majorly on the highway, which is stretched out till Chandigarh, goes into the side of Haryana towards Rohtak, then of course towards Uttarakhand, Dehradun. So that's how we are kind of planning our reach. So we're going to take a simple path and going to keep building a network and a cluster of outlets, so that it becomes a very fruitful deal in terms of network buildup for our customers, ease of reach. Just like McDonald's, if you go to US right now, every 5 miles, I think you will find a McDonald's outlet, every 5 miles. So of course, I'm not comparing ourselves to the McDonald's, but yes, that's what from day one we always envision to become. All three of us, we have this very simple vision of becoming something like McDonald's, and that's how we are driving this entire chapter behind the behind the business part. So let's get back to the slide of master franchise. What we feel is these highways and these stretches all have a good possibility of opening up 10, 15, 20 stores towards these the entire route, of course, if we go that way. So let's speak about what a master franchise would play a role as. Of course, he will have to set up a central kitchen. He will have to, kind of develop a plan where he is planning to open up all these outlets. And of course, we will be very handy in terms of the overall planning, because we also would want to place outlets very smartly so that it is neatly controlled and with a very minimalistic cost structure, instead of just building up the cost structures and becoming difficult to operate as a business. We would not want to do that. Then we talk about the product sourcing strategy. Again, most of our products again are controlled from central kitchen. So any central kitchen a master franchise would be operating as a FOCO model with the company. We would be operating that and of course sharing profits with you guys. But it's a very simple model, which of course you will get to know once we start talking about the master franchise deals further. But it's a very simple process of working on approved vendors, approved brands, getting the supplies from your central kitchen only. So idea is very simple here. We just want to look for somebody who is as passionate as we are for the brand we do. Over the last 12 years, one thing we have learned is we don't have to chase money, because we got so many people coming to us that I would invest this much, I would invest this much. But we always felt that somebody lacked the love for the brand, somebody lacked the passion that is needed to make this big. So we want somebody who's very passionate, of course. So that's first thing. Second is you have to obey the roles you have to play in terms of building this, into a big master franchise within your own region. Then let's talk about the ideal partner profile, which again, I just mentioned in two specific. If you belong to food industry already, that's a plus. But if you don't, you can become just like we become. But of course, we have spent like 10 years, 11, 12 years to learn the industry, but you don't have to do that with the proven simple system, what we have built in the backend. You just learn the brand and you kind of get a good hold. Now let's talk about the most interesting part, financials, of course. You should have a solid understanding and a control, or you should have a support or team of someone who kind of gives you that edge in terms of keeping a good hold on the master franchise model, because it's not just about the number of outlets. It's not just about, number of, the amount of sales you have done. It's just about how good you control the overall movement of ratios working in the backend, that food cost should be this much, logistic cost should be this much, marketing fund should be this much, etc., etc. Of course, we help you and plan out all the things in detail, but you personally have to be really, really aware of what you are getting into. Of course, we can be the hand-holding support you need to become a unit or a master franchise. Now let's go to the next slide. This is, I think, the current scenario of what our Jail Road outlet is currently doing. But I would not talk about this one. I'll just quickly go ahead and share a different document for the same, this one, which will help you understand more about our unit model. So let me just quickly go. Okay. So quickly, 650 square feet is what we aim at as our minimum space required for our outlet, out of which we kind of dedicate 325 square feet to our kitchen, and rest of the space goes for the dining. That's how most of the models are. Malvin Nagar outlet is a slightly bigger outlet. It's around 875 square feet. So, but still again, caters up to 42 packs seating. So this is how the investment thing goes for a unit franchise if you plan to open a single outlet. So overall infrastructure cost, when we talk about the architect fee and other things, is approximately 17 lakh and 25,000 rupees. Equipment, which is the most important element of any food business. You should invest in good equipment instead of just thinking, "Arey, equipment mein itna paisa kaise lag sakta hai?" I can only answer one thing: just visit one of our kitchens, either Malvin Nagar, either Jail Road, either Sushant, or any kitchen. You will find out why, because it's a very systematic approach and a very assembly kind of production that we kind of use to build our kitchens. Okay, now business promotions, of course, is the initial investment you would need to kind of put in to promote the brand, to bring it to the forefront of your local marketing. It's a mix of you know, divided, of course, into first 3 to 4 months. Franchise fee is what we take as 7 lakh rupees plus GST, of course. So the overall investment of our model comes out to be 42 lakh 20,000 rupees approx, which goes slightly up and slightly down based on how we are planning things in terms of utilizing the space. Now, if you just take a quick minute and go through this financial document, of course, I'll be taking a few Q&As from you guys that in terms of course, financial model or the operational side, once I end the presentation. So just go through this quickly, and I'll be explaining each and everything to you in detail. So this is a very elaborated sheet. Basically, it tells you most of the things which you will have to go through in setting up an outlet. And next slide, just hold on. If we go how the HR works. So how many staff members do you need to operate such an outlet? What kind of sales and these are all actual numbers we have witnessed from our past openings of 5 stores. Though not all stores are equal in terms of number of sales, but most of the sale outlets kind of gave us the idea that what is the number we as a brand, we as an outlet in a particular region, of course, after a thorough research about the locality, the expenditure amount locality can give us. We've understood these numbers that this is very easily achievable numbers, of course, with the help of online aggregators and our offline sales marketing push combination of all. And to run these numbers, of course, you need these many people. At the first go, you start off with 8 people until you reach a certain amount of sales. So I'll just quickly zoom out. I hope it is readable. So Neji, is it readable for everyone?
No, this is too small. To read.
Okay, then I think we'll have to go like this. Better now?
Yeah.
Okay. So we have also kept a 10% appraisal factor, which of course happens every year. So Nidhi, do you feel I need to showcase this entire financial model in this presentation, or can we talk about this in a later, maybe one-on-one meetings with our investors? What do you suggest?
Detail we can discuss later on, but we can understand maybe broadly our investment that we already covered. And any other aspect maybe which an investor wants to know, I'll request they can put in the Q&A and we can take it up case to case.
Okay. So this is, I think this is something an investor should, we'll just quickly go through this. Just hold on. Okay, readable? Perfect. So that's the kind of average customers per day we expect at our outlets from first month onwards. Monthly, I mean 40 is of course the number of customers we expect each day, and the number of customers we expect to turn around at our outlets on a monthly basis. And this is the number we have kind of witnessed if we do the math combining online, offline, mixture of both. So we have kind of broken these down into 2 areas so that you can very clearly understand कि online से कितना business आता है, offline से कितना business आता है, how many people come up when if it's a takeaway outlet or if it's a dine-in outlet. So combining everything in and averaging out, we have came up with these numbers and we have kind of presented this. And these are actual numbers. You can visit any of our outlets, be there for 7, 8, 10 days and kind of witness it on your own. So again, no bragging. Okay, I am seeing Mr. Maria is struggling a bit in reading this.
It's because of my age.
You still look very young if you take off this beard.
Very kind on Sunday.
Oh yes, you work hard to get that. Let me know if I need to slide it here and there.
It's okay. We can discuss this in detail.
Okay. And of course, the most important element for any of the investor is how the payback period is, what's the kind of revenue comes in, and what are the all business expenses we bear. Okay, sorry, better. Okay, readable.
Yep.
Okay, let's start. So I would request all the people who are live seeing us, seeing this session, or future investors, just go through this document. We can of course take up a lot of Q&A around this and the operation sites.
Go a little down. Just,
Okay.
sure.
Do you feel I need to explain it one by one, or again we can do it in one-on-one meetings?
We will take up a lot of questions. So I think we try to cover all the points which the audience would have. And I will also request our people who are listening, they also should go out in Q&A box and start asking questions.
Right.
Let
So
me-
let's go back to the PPT viewer. So I'm just left with 4 slides, and I'll be very quick on that. So we have kind of understood the financial model, how the figures work out, the initial investment, how the working happens. Now let's go back to the simple approach that we have been following. So I'll be very honest, very upfront. We have kind of worked franchise in past as well. Now our current franchises are really successful. But when we started out in 2009, we tried our hands on, in 2012 with a franchise, and without any learning. Again, of course, we were also new in the industry, and that gave us. And trust me, that was not a good run. It was a flop show for us. We kind of drowned because we did not did our homework well. We did not understand the market where we are opening. We did not put in the right amount of effort which is needed to run this massive operation in a very simple way. And that what taught us that you have to have a central kitchen, a very streamlined production process, which kind of take care of all the issues happens at the outlet level. And that's what gave us the model of central kitchen. And now with the help of our simple central kitchen approach, you don't have to take up a lot of headache. I'll be very simple and I will use just very simple terms कि आपको outlet level पे नमक भी नहीं डालना होता. But it is not something in a frozen form कि आपको frozen आएगा and you microwave it and give it. No, it is done in a way that all the spice related things, all the prep related things are done in the background in the central kitchen and then delivered it to outlets. And then outlets have to make sure they follow the simple cooking procedures explained in the kitchen guides, which would be, of course, handed over to each and every kitchen. They just get the same amount of taste, same feel of the experience which a customer gets at any of our outlets. And that's what kind of helped us understand that this is the only thing can help us produce a quality product, keeping the food cost in control, which is the most important element of our business. Control on the wastage, so that when you're ordering from central kitchen and preparing and then ordering again, you kind of keep a very close check how much you're ordering, keeping a close check on the food cost. And then of course end of it all combines to a very good customer satisfaction. So simple approach, but very handful, very in terms of let me come up with a simple word. Agar central kitchen nahi hai business mein, it is not running in the right format. So it is as simple as that. That's what our failure told us. And from that day onward, we started investing and building a central kitchen approach. And today we successfully run a 400 yard central kitchen in Mayapuri. which of course you will have a chance to visit if you request. Okay. The most important element in our business is we have our own delivery model. So if you go to our website, www.thetummysection.com, you can straight away order from our website, and you can save on to a lot of commissions, which you end up paying to aggregators like Swiggy and Zomato, because sometimes that commission which you're paying to aggregator eats up a lot of profit, which we encourage that you promote your own online ordering. And it's a very fully integrated system, just like Swiggy and Zomato. You don't have to hire any delivery boys in-house. You don't have to do it. It is all centralized, fully controlled system. Just get the orders to your outlet, deliveries will be taken care, and you just end up paying 4% of commission. It's an external collaboration with a different partner, and the simple, very straightforward, similar model what Swiggy Zomato runs. But yes, the benefit is you save on your commissions and again, rising the bottom line. Now, this is something I would ask: who can take franchise of Tummy Section? Who can become part of Tummy Section's journey? And who can take a master franchise or a unit franchise? Somebody who's very sharp, somebody who's very ambitious, somebody with a financial background in terms of understanding the numbers, because food business is not just a fancy business ki outlet khol liya, customers aa gaye, we are doing good on sales. No, it is not that. You have to understand your numbers, you have to understand your operations. So that's key 4 pointers you need to be strong on. Second, of course, entrepreneurs with the investment and the space requirements. If you're good with the investment, the kind of money this brand expects you to put in at an initial investment, and of course, running of first 3 months, you're most welcome to join our journey. Next is, of course, which I feel is common for any business, either a startup, either a successful one, or either some 100-year-old company. You need to have a commitment towards efficient customer service, and that's what we have built on in this long journey. Of course, we don't say that, okay, invest in our business, sit along and enjoy. We always encourage, no matter how good your team is, how good manager or key personas you have aligned to handle this business, we always suggest to personally closely monitor this entire working monitoring for at least first 3 months. Devote your time, devote your resources to this business, get a good grasp on your trainings, get good hold on everything. And once you feel confident this thing can run without you and give you profits, this thing can run without you, without giving you headaches while you're sitting somewhere far, then think of an exit in terms of moving slightly away. Initial go, put in that effort, devote that time, and you will never ever regret that later on. Okay, last is investors. Someone who owns a food outlet or want to convert it into a Tummy Section franchise, you can do that. Somebody who owns a land and is looking for a franchise, of course, can also explore Tummy Section as a brand. So that is all from my side. I think I kind of helped you guys to give you a good background on what our brand is, what we have done in the last 12 years, and what we are planning for next 50 years, next 10 years, next 5 years, even tomorrow, what our plans are. So I'm really happy to present all this information to you guys. Ms. Sonia ji and Mr. Maria, I hand it over to you guys. If you have any questions, please.
Thank you very much. Thank you. It was a very elaborate presentation, and I should compliment you that you are living your own passion and your partner's passion. So I think it clearly reflects. And a lot of times people are not living that dream. And this is very important, because anything you build, it might start with a very small initiative. But if you live your dream, then it obviously would turn into a bigger reality. You might have not even thought what you are today, and you might be 5 years from there. Very different organization, the size and structure. And we've seen in our journey in Franchise India, things we've started very honest and very clearly driven by the passion has become large. So that's an opportunity, I think, complimenting to you. Second, I think what I liked about is that you have worked on proprietary product. If you really go and see the success of any QSR in the world, they have actually worked on proprietary products. Right. Sometimes we create a journal product which is very me too, and work on other things in the business, which is the aesthetics, the retail design and things like that. And that would not last. So I like what you said, that it's all about product and menu. And if you have a proprietary product which you genuinely believe on, and then you build a subscriber base which continue to come to you. If you really see the success of any restaurant business globally or India also, it's all about the great proprietary product. So keep doing the innovation, and that's something which is very important. But in QSR, sometime over innovation, you said, McDonald versus Burger King, McDonald also does but they do incremental innovations. They don't do drastic innovations because they feel that people have expectation from a brand and they don't want to be shocked in that sense, so they would do very incremental innovation. That's why that organization has rarely failed in any market. They always are very, very good in terms of going in. So your vision to continue to follow McDonald's is a good way. Continue to innovate incrementally, anything which it needs. It can be on service, delivery time, product quality, health, anything. So let's start with few questions, and so we have a lot of questions coming from audience also. Just to give you everybody's perspective, ये जो business है 42 लाख रुपीस में establish होता है. Business के दोनों हिस्से हैं, dining भी है 650 odd square feet का, and also delivery भी है. अगर आपने इनके financial numbers देखे हो तो काफी हद तक delivery और जो dining है वो काफी हद तक split है 50-50 में. And that's the trend. Somebody asked that delivery is becoming very important. So they have actually championed delivery, and the product itself is designed delivery friendly. So if you see the shawarmas and finger food and a lot of other burgers and things of that nature, is very clearly a delivery friendly product. A lot of products we see are not delivery friendly or not preferred from a delivery. So that's a good thing. Also, I like that there is a lot of good spread, but good spread in menu is that there is always what I call the 4 fits: the strategic, the financial, the operational, and marketing. Sometimes people try to make a lot of different menus, which puts operational pressure because you need specialists for everything, or they would do some kind of other structure which would create more financial pressure, which means that food cost would go up and things like that. So I liked when they did is that they're using a lot of same product base and trying to create variants on that. So if you see that the whole Shavario is actually used in the egg product also, it is used in something else also. So that's very intelligent movement, because Indian customer need choices, but you can really evolve on your base product. So you don't really have to expand your base product. So that's another good thing, which I think consciously they have done that. So that another thing which somebody really asked is, and which would be my first really question, which you should answer. But somebody asked that why you put so much of equipment. And one thing which I've realized is that a lot of people in QSR cut down that equipment quality. And I like what he said, is all about equipment efficiency. If you really see the great QSR restaurants, they are actually a top class equipment companies. So they know the throughput, because you have to service fast. Unless and until you have that kind of efficiency, you have that kind of assembly line, you have people working linear rather than working and running around the kitchen and so on and so forth, you'll never be able to give the efficiencies which is required. You'll never be able to deliver the speed which is required for a business like this. So all this is very complementing. So I think it's a very well thought through, and a lot of years have gone into building that. Maybe quickly you can answer on the equipment side, because somebody has asked a question that if everything is coming from base kitchen, what do you do with the equipment? So I will let you answer that part, because it's very important for somebody to understand what goes in there are two kitchens. One is the back of the house and one is the front of the house. So front of the house is where you would run as a franchisee, and what is happening on the front of the house kitchen. So over to you.
So basically, when we break these sections around, so we have kind of combined two different cuisines into common equipment as well. So we are the only, I would not say Delhi, but in India, we might be the only player who's operating Chinese cuisine using a frying system. So a lot of people kind of use those woks, the kadais, and they kind of come up. So instead of using a bigger Chinese range, we've kind of cut it down, because we serve approximately 9 to 10 Chinese menu items. So we have kind of shorted it down to just one single range, which looks very simplistic. But combined with the frying system, which is again used by the quantity section as well, and these two sections kind of combined together. I don't have the pictures of the kitchen right now. Otherwise, I would have kind of explained the entire model. But your question, what happens in the front end? First is what we learned is equipment is something, if you save at initial go, you will end up paying a lot of maintenance cost. You will end up paying a lot of, operational hazards, challenges during your running of the restaurant. Because initially because we are a bootstrap company, we never took any investors on board. So we understood that initially we also used to cut down a lot on the equipment, and we end up paying a lot of maintenance. A lot of time we used to lose out a lot of sales because our fridge was not working. We were not able to serve a certain section of menu, and that made us realize कि boss menu पे kitchen के equipment पे तो you'll have to invest good. So that's where we shifted our design. We can get fabricated fridges. We don't stick by that. We go for branded ones. We can get, sasta SS ka material, but we don't go for that. We go for very generic vendors. We have a list of 3 people who work with our kitchens, and we don't allow any franchise to get any other vendor. The core reason behind that is these 3 vendors have kind of kept us happy in terms of what we as a quality inspection want in our kitchens. Now let's break it into 2 parts. First, central kitchen, and second is the front of the house, which is of course the franchise. Central kitchen does not have a lot of equipment. Central kitchen is majorly mixing, preparing stuff in such a way that it can be transformed into the final product at the outlet level. Let me give you a simple example of Shavario only. So when we talk about Shavario is comprised of 4 things. First is, of course, the pita bread in which the chicken is wrapped. Second is the chicken itself. And third is the mayonnaise and the tahina it is served with. Now, tahina, we don't send the fully ready tahina at the outlet. We send the base of it. At outlet, they just have to mix a certain amount of curd and a few other elements, of course, as per the kitchen guide, and it's done. Now, when we talk about pita bread is something which completely do at outlets, because that has been our main USP of our Shavario, because it's very unique. So again, a separate section of it goes into that. Now, when we talk about Shavario, we don't cook Shavario at all at central kitchen. We just marinate it, refrigerate it, and send it at right temperatures to the outlet. Now, when the outlet comes, they have to do the Shavario on their own. And most of the outlets have 2 Shavario tawas we kind of put there, like hot plates, because this is one of the hottest selling items, and this is one of the items around which the entire menu is operating. So you need to have a backup plate as well. Whenever there's a huge demand, we cannot just ditch the QSR format and get the customers in the waiting line. We have to adhere by the timelines. So that's where there are certain backup equipments needed, and then there are branded equipments happening at the front of the house. And of course, if you see, let me give you a quick example from my observation. If you go to a McDonald's or KFC and see it from an investor point of view, you will realize a McDonald's kitchen is way more money oriented in terms of investment as compared to its dining area. McDonald's के dining area में इतना पैसा कभी भी नहीं लगा होता जितना उनके kitchen में लगा होता है. And if you see the menu of McDonald's, you might wonder, यार 4 burger का menu, and why do they invest so much in their kitchens? And I think nobody needs an answer for that. It is just because of the speed, it is just because of the quality, it is just because of the consistency. And the last reason I would give on this is, हमारे kitchen में you don't need trained staff. This is one of the USPs of tummy section. You don't need highly specialized Chinese guys. You don't need highly specialized Conti people who knows. No, you can hire a fresher. You can train him. Within 15 days, that same person will give you, within 15 days of training, of course, and 10 days of buddy training system, which we follow, he will be able to give you the same exact output as we have done. So this is where the role of equipment, good trainings, and of course, good supervision comes in.
Absolutely. And you rightly said, this is about throughput, how speed of delivery, and making the business idiot proof. Right. So anybody can run that business, and that's where the QSR journey is all about. Good part. A couple of quick questions I'll take because we've run over time, and then Sonia, I will pass it on to Sonia. Give me answers like a rapid fire kind of thing. What is the APC you're running on? What is the average ticket value you bill there?
When we talk about deliveries, it is around 350, 370. But when we talk about the dine-ins, which people do at our outlet, it's around 275, 300 rupees.
Okay, so that's a good, APC is good. So second question comes in, your food cost is normally a little higher than average QSR because you kept about 45% provision. because you have a central kitchen coming in. So it reduces the load on the front of the house kitchen. So that's why it's little higher than the average food cost. It's 45% in between.
I would not say that. The reason why food cost is a bit on the higher side is because from a pricing point of view, we have followed the McDonald's principle always. Indian market looks for products which are cheap and best. So that's what we have always.
So if
So,
the
yes,
average ticket value is low,
yes,
so the food cost is higher on
yes.
that. And
That's how we kind of attract masses and a lot of references.
third question is on the royalties. It's got 5% and 1% is the advertisement levy, which you would. So that's 5%. Somebody's asked a question on the royalties, the 5%. Another question which I would have is that I liked your monthly projections which you did, and you started very modest and reached out to about, I think, 16, 17 lakhs kind of a year one closing. But then you have shown a year 1 to year 5 a significant growth, which means that it is actually reached down to a point where it is making a lakh of rupees sale, which is about 30, 35, 32 lakh rupees kind of a way. I understand that this change would come 5 years from APC growth, or you would see that more throughput start happening, people would start consuming more. What would be your viewpoint on that? It's normally
basically, I'll give you a 2-line answer on this. It took us 10 years to do what we are doing right now. And so I'll be very honest in terms of numbers. First day we did 2,300 when we opened 2009. And till 2018, we were sitting on an average of 25,000, 30,000 a day. And we were kind of not satisfied with that. And then we kind of hit on a very secretive formula, which we have derived to get that strong push year on year. So that's where the marketing, of course, plays a very, very crucial role in terms of how to make the name. And second is becoming the leader within that region. And I mean, so that people don't have a lot of competition happening around you. So you become the preferred and the first choice. So we kind of came up with a good marketing model, first thing. Second, with the help of these online aggregators and a lot of online visibility, that really helps a lot of business. And what we have felt is it at least takes first year for any new outlet or a brand to kind of establish themselves in that locality, in area, to build that online persona for your brand of that locality. And you kind of start seeing the magic from second year onwards. And this is what we have witnessed. So that's why we are very confident. And we recently saw, so when we opened our Rajouri outlet, it was again doing 25, 30,000. And all of a sudden, second year onward, it came to the average sale of 70, 75,000 a day. So which gave us, again, understanding. And this has been very repetitive with most of our outlets. But of course,
so this would be seen on the sales growth, and obviously the APC is also 5 years from now. You are at 280, it might be 450 or something like that. So that would also give you increase in your sales as
right.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's a good, very descriptive financials. And over to you, Sonia, for a lot of questions which you would see on the audience, and if you can go quickly on that.
Yeah, great. Kirti, I think we've covered a lot of questions because the presentation was very extensive, but I'll still pick up some questions from the audience. And my first question would be with respect to the locations. We've shortlisted about 50 odd spots alone in Delhi, which includes NCR as well. And we understand, because of the tech piece, there's a lot of data intelligence which you would have, because I did see a question from our participating investors on the selection of these locations. And because these spots are already shortlisted by you, would you as a company also give some assistance in selection of properties also in these spots? So two questions: data intelligence of selection of these spots, and second is assistance in providing properties or locations if somebody wants to go ahead. This question was from Rahul Dikshit, and he's from South Delhi specifically.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Rahul, for taking up this question. So first is, of course, we work very closely. In fact, I personally work very closely in terms of getting the location right. Because of course, if your location is not right, nothing is going to be right. That's what goes in food industry. First thing. And second is, when we talk about the data metrics, the numbers goes behind picking up the location. We kind of work not just, so whenever we kind of freeze on a location or a locality where we want to open up, for at least 7 days, our team goes and do a thorough working around that area, which brands are working, which brands are not. We just don't plan locations on the basis of ki yahan pe bade dusre brands hai and then we open up. No, we don't do that. We see what has worked with us in past, what has worked for us in past. We try and find similar looking markets, similar looking cultures and similar habits in different markets. And those markets become our preferred places to, first open up our. So there are few, so 5-6 parameters we kind of work closely, analyze, and then pick the location. And of course, I will personally be working very closely in terms of choosing the location.
Sure. And the second question, which I'm seeing has also come from a couple of our investors, is on the manpower support, which means recruitment is one of the biggest challenge in the F&B industry, so to say. So any assistance which the company would give on recruitment, obviously training becomes a part of the onboarding, but how about the recruitment of manpower?
So as the standard goes, initial recruitment, of course, we personally take care. As I mentioned, our model is something which can be learned with very, minorly managed training aspect. So if the franchisee owner feels that he needs to replace somebody or find a replacement or find a new manpower very quickly, they can also source it locally. If they are not able to get a good hold on some, good qualified candidates, they can always get back to our HR and request some help on that. And we don't charge any fees on that. And we are always there in terms of help to get you the right people at the right time whenever needed. So in short, I will be very honest and upfront. It is not a hardcore commitment that we fulfill that, yes, we are always there whenever you need somebody, because we don't want to be someone or a company ki baad mein you find on your own. We don't want to do that. Yes, we are there as a backup support, because end of the day, we know if there is a shortage of staff at your outlet, quality is going to get hampered, and we don't want that, and we take care of that.
Sure. Another question, because we've only talked about one format, and if you see the trend, especially last 1.5 years, a lot of food operators, starting from the marquee names who have been operating these fine dining restaurants have been going into cloud kitchens. So you see any possibility of, getting into that, or at this point in time, you want to keep your QSR also, doing deliveries as maybe a single location? Because we talked about one format with 42 lakhs of investment. And if you look at Cloud Kitchen, I'm sure with the area involvement and the location, all that operating cost also comes down. So do you think that's something on the cards at this point in time, or maybe in near future?
I would not speak anything against about cloud kitchens, but the only thing what I have learned that cloud kitchen helps you only achieve 50% of your caliber of your location, 50%, the magic your outlet can create in that area. So if you have a proper space, it gives you 3 possible incomes. First, of course, you can operate as a dine-in kitchen. Second, you can, of course, serve takeaways. You can serve people. Mostly, if you see most of our locations are kind of locations that we also kind of, because of the COVID scene as well, we recently came up with this car service thing, so that people kind of stay inside their safe zones. So if you go only cloud kitchen, you miss out on car servicing, outlet level takeaways, peak markets, dine-ins, you just enjoy the online delivery. So if you see our financials, 50% of sales gone. So again, putting so much of money, because investment doesn't really reduces a lot when you, of course, speak. Yes, the infrastructure and the architectural things goes off, but again, you will still not be able to achieve. But yes, as a company, we are opening up our first cloud kitchen of Tummy Section just as a try model. If it works out well, it's in process of planning, and we will be coming up with this launch in couple of months, of course. So if we feel that is becoming something we can explore and offer to our investors, we will see to it. Otherwise, as of now, we are only focusing on dine-in models, because because our models are dine-ins and takeaways, but we have seen dining models give us more revenue. So,
right. It also builds brand equity and positioning. That's very important. And Nikhilji, since we have many other questions and a lot of people are asking for the entire P&L ROI also to be shared with them, and maybe they want to also have a visit at the facilities outlets, and we can plan all that in the coming week as Delhi also starts unlocking Monday onwards. We'll see all these facilities which can be visited. So I'll request all our investors from Delhi who would want to do that either on a call, maybe initially if you want to speak to Nikhilji, we can also set up a call, Zoom call, and followed by maybe a visit at one of the outlets which are closest to you, maybe Faridabad, Gurgaon, or Delhi. And you can reach on the hotline number where we can start setting up the calls. And before I close, Nikhil, one question which I want to take up is on the locations. You said only Delhi is what we're looking at, and very close NCR, 3 cities outside Delhi. If we have inquiries like from Indore, Jaipur, and some other locations in South also, would that only be a master franchise model, or maybe cities like, for example, Chandigarh, Jaipur, which are closer to Delhi, can that be serviced from the current centralized facilities that we have?
No, we will have to set up. So our current central kitchen can cater up to 25, 30 outlets. And of course, if we keep bringing more outlets in Delhi, we'll increase the size of our and the production facility. But when we look at the regions beyond 100 kilometers, because we have an outlet in Sonipat and we do a daily up down from Sonipat. But going beyond that kind of hampers our current supply logistics channel, the entire structuring the way we have done. So that will kind of increase the burden on the overall business. So that's what we are not aiming at. So we would prefer open up a base kitchen, a central kitchen, and cater a minimum number of outlets, let's say 15, 20 outlets within that region. So that would be the perfect way to go for this brand.
Absolutely. You're on the right way. Do a cluster, build a central kitchen, and create a good cluster. No rush to do a market. You're doing on the right lines. And sometimes, people want to give you their way of thinking. I personally feel that dining would be a great opportunity to build a brand and also continue to do what you're doing. You're obviously doing something absolutely right, and there is no reason for anybody to come and advise you something to change and why should you change. You're doing something right. This is working for you, and you're achieving great results. So thank you very much. Thanks, Nikhil, for coming over. We will love to have maybe a discovery day planned in next 7-8 days where we can organize this, so to say, a discovery day or IFM with you, which Archana tells us 15th June. So 15th June, we will target that we are able to bring in and people can come and taste your product, meet the founders. I'm personally very impressed with your passion. That's very important to me. I feel in the philosophy of investing for me has been now follow the founder, not the anything else. Everything else would follow. I mean, it would feel right if the founder is right. So you're good founders. Continue to develop your journey. So we're very proud to have you as a client of ours. Right.
Thank you. Let's be a happy tummy.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. I'll take your leave now.
Maybe I can try one day what you said, this double one. Once in a life, you have that.
Yes, Crunchwich. Yes, it's a must try. Perfect. Anything else for me, guys?
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I'd like to thank you on behalf of the entire team of Franchise India and all our investors who have come. And I would also add that you've taken a lot of time these 12 years, not only to perfect your offering, but also to bring a lot of standardization. And the business format is ready to be scaled. And along with the passion, you also brought a model which can be monetized by prospective partners, which is very important in any business model, especially in franchising. So congratulations on the work that you have done. And friends, we look forward to receiving any inquiries that you might have. And we'll connect with all of you and fix your slots for 15th of June, which is next week.
Perfect. Thank you. And I would like to thank all the investors for taking out time and hearing me listen.
Thank you so much, Nikhil. Over to you, Archana.
Thank you so much, Nikhil, for joining in today. We would like to inform you that we'll try to get maximum investors on 15th of June, which is our discovery day for you, so that we can have maximum interaction with them. Okay. And thank you so much, Gaurav sir. Thank you so much, Sonia ma'am, for sharing your insights with us. We would like to thank our dear participants who have joined us today on this Sunday to understand the entire business model of Tummy Section. You want to have one-to-one interaction with Mr. Nikhil, book your slot at our business hotline number, which is 9717683838. We also request you to save this number in your phone book because we are organizing different events for you, different webinars for you. You get a regular updates from our site through broadcast messages. Also connect with us at our LinkedIn IDs, Twitter ID, as well as Instagram. You can also visit us at the Facebook page of Franchise India Brands Limited because we have created the entire library of all the business opportunities we have presented till now. You can also connect with Gaurav sir and Sonia ma'am at their respective LinkedIn IDs. And Sunday is always very special for us because we try to bring maximum business opportunities for you. We would like to invite you for our special weekend series under our Bharat Franchise Show. Today, we are representing West India, region for you, where we are bringing top 7 international as well as national business opportunities along with GM capsule of the day. So do registration for this particular webinar, which will start at 7 p.m. so that you can join us sharp 7 p.m. And tomorrow, under business opportunity of a webinar series, 12 p.m., we would like to invite you for a brand, My Own Place House. That's the brand from Gujarat. They will come and talk about this business opportunity. So for today, 7 p.m. webinar under Bharat Franchise Show, and tomorrow, 12 p.m. business opportunity with Chai webinar series, you can get yourself registered at the same business hotline number. Thank you so much once again for joining in today. Have a safe day ahead. Stay safe, eat healthy. Thank you so much.
Thank you, friends. Have a happy Sunday.